Weeks ago, we started this conversation about emotional intelligence. Just to recap, we talked about the fact that emotional intelligence has to do with understanding and managing your own emotions as well as those of others. I recall that Doc mentioned that there are four, what should I call them? Aspects. Or what?
Yes.
Aspects of emotional intelligence. We talked about self-awareness, self-management, others' awareness, and then relationship management, right? And I remember you mentioned that some schools of thought put the last two, which is others' awareness and relationship management, into one and call it empathy.
Yes.
Am I right? Yes. I'm a good student. I'm a shark.
Very, very good.
We also said that emotions are deceptive. And between emotional intelligence and the intelligence quotient, they are equally important, but then we need to know in which situation to apply which.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we spend the rest of the show talking about self-awareness.
Yes.
And we were almost kicked out of the studio, so we are back. We have to finish what we started. So today we are going to narrow in on the other aspects of emotional intelligence, namely self-management and then empathy. And then we're going to carry it from there. Good afternoon to you, Nana Bedumonsu Jr. He says, great show. Always the first to comment, and he contributes on the show. So I'm going to start with Rita. What is self-management?
Self-management. Let's focus only when we come to emotional intelligence.
Okay.
In emotional intelligence, when you talk of self-management, it's just like knowing who you are and taking care of yourself.
Okay.
Managing your own emotions so that it doesn't negatively affect you and doesn't negatively affect the people around you. Okay. So you know when to borrow from the British expression, know when to say when. In other words, you know at this point I'm getting angry. So let me do this about it.
Okay.
At this point, I'm sad. So what do I do to get me out of that situation? So that your emotions, if you are not able to manage them, is definitely going to affect somebody. Let's assume because I'm excited and happy, I'm jumping all over the place. But there are laptops here, there are people's phones and gadgets, and then in my excitement, I can fall on something and then crash the system and then create problems for virtually myself and everybody. So knowing how to behave when you are in any type of emotion, be it happiness, sadness, or whatever, knowing how to control is how you manage those emotions for yourself.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Doc, you want to weigh in?
Yes. Of course.
Mother Supremo.
Yes, Mother Supremo always. And so what I'll add to hers is that there is a saying by one of my favorite preachers, Bishop T.D. Jakes. He said that don't let your bruises or the injury bleed into tomorrow to contaminate it.
Okay.
So what happened to you today, don't let it bleed into tomorrow to contaminate it.
Right.
And we see it in relationships. For example, when the new guy or the new girl is paying for the sins of the old person, managing yourself when it comes to emotional intelligence means that you are able to understand how your experiences with emotions are.
Okay.
Because like we said, you understand who you are, you understand how these things affect you. If you understand how these emotions influence you, you are able to manage them in such a way that they do not bleed into other people's lives and experiences and contaminate it. So, for example, if you have you are angry, right? Now, your anger has a focus. Somebody made you angry, or you chose to be angry as a result of somebody's action.
Right.
Now, that anger is sitting with you. If you don't manage that anger, like I said, anger is a secondary emotion. If you don't manage it, what is going to happen is that you are going to project. So it happens a lot with drivers, so the person is made angry by one person, and then that anger enters into the person's driving, and then he or she uses it to cause problem for somebody else. Now, management basically is learning to understand how these emotions work. How does anger come? Anger is a progression from one first emotion to the other. As a secondary emotion, perhaps maybe you are afraid, maybe you are just annoyed, or maybe you have just been disturbed. If you understand that progression, you are able to know, okay, I am angry because I'm afraid. Let me solve the fear portion, and then the anger will disappear.
Right.
In that case, you are managing that emotion. You don't want it to flow out and then destroy something else. All right, you are containing and managing it. It's very different from suppressing it.
Okay.
And it's also very different from letting it just explode and say that I'm just expressing myself. No. You are living in a community, and other people's jurisdiction interferes with yours. So you don't have the luxury of allowing your emotions to spread out and influence and affect somebody else's serenity. So managing is understanding how these emotions progresses through us. And when we get to empathy, we understand that everybody deals with it differently.
Okay.
So that involves, so when you're able to deal with your emotions, you are able then to become properly adjusted to deal with others.
So self-awareness, you are aware of the emotions and you are able to label it right.
Yes.
Self-management is managing that emotion you've labeled within maybe the confines of the society and all of that, right?
Yes.
On the right track.
Exactly.
Excellent.
I like the fact that you added the confines of the society. Because even societal differences would influence what appropriate management is.
Okay. Okay.
There are some places where people throw things about. It is seen as part of their processes. And then it could even be a healthy process according to them.
Okay.
But in some places,
that's not allowed.
Not.
Yeah.
So I like the jurisdiction part. So we'll deal with the contextual aspect too.
Okay. So let's quickly. I want us to be very practical today. That's why I want us to clear the definitions, right? So let's come to empathy. We are aware. We are managing. What is empathy, Rita?
Is it me or
Rita?
To put it in a very simple way, empathy is putting myself into your shoes.
Okay.
So that I will know how you feel. Sometimes things happen and people are asking you, you don't know what it is or how it feels like. You put yourself in my shoes. You see that it's a way of telling you that empathize with me.
Right.
Feel what I'm feeling. Know what I know. So that when it comes to building a relationship or when it comes to the managing of our emotions together, I will not see you as... let's take the fear that Dr. Atineje used, the example he used the last time. Your fear of your younger sibling being hurt or your child being attacked in the night is why you are angry they came in late.
Right.
Yes. If in your anger you react negatively, giving them slaps, and sometimes locking the door and saying that you will sleep outside and all those things, that person even is not given the opportunity or the chance to also tell you why they are coming in late. Because it could be she was standing there was no car coming. Where I live, for instance, at a certain time, you won't get Uber, you won't get nothing. So you will have to probably get a taxi that is coming. So all that time could go into the time wasted, or probably whoever is the lecturer forgets that the student don't have a car. You are the only one who have a car. So they will talk and talk and talk and talk. I remember I had a lecture, we used to signal him that said, we are walking, before he stops. Otherwise, he goes on and on and on and on. So, but because of your anger, you are not giving the person the chance. So you are not being empathetic.
Okay.
You are just saying things from your own point of view. You are looking at things from your way. And it happens most of the time. Empathy does not mean I am crying with you.
Okay.
That is different. That one is sympathize. I see you are sad and I'm like, oh, so what happened? But obviously what you are saying, it is not even what I'm listening. So that's the difference. The fact that I am, oh, it doesn't matter, oh, keep cool. I'm just sympathetic because that's what a normal human being is supposed to do. But empathy goes beyond sympathizing.
Right.
Empathy is that point where you actually see things from my point of view.
Okay.